You guys are on a weight loss journey. You wanna know what are the best on-the-go protein snacks for weight loss. I've got an entire bowl right here of the absolute best ones on the market for flavor, for protein content, for calorie content. I'm gonna go every single one of them with you guys in detail, open them up, try them, show you what they look like, what they sound like, describe what they taste like. Let's dive in. All right, so before we start pulling things out of this bowl, I wanna give you guys a good idea of what actually makes a good on-the-go protein snack. What we like to do with our clients at Healthy and Whole is use a standard of 200 calories or less per serving, and at least 40% of those calories coming from protein. So that means if you pick up a bar or a bag of chips or something like that off of the shelf at the grocery store or at the gas station, and it has 200 calories, then you wanna have at least 20 grams of protein in that snack to be able to hit that 40% threshold. If it has 180 calories, then 18 grams of protein would hit that 40% threshold. If it has 160, then you need 16 grams. If it has 140 calories, you need 14 grams, and so on. It's kind of nice how it works out that way, like a ladder, stepping down in the calories and the protein content correlating with those numbers. Now you have the ability to know our standard. Now you can go into any grocery store, any gas station, and use that quick rule of thumb to know if the snack that you're picking has a pretty good amount of protein in it. Let's actually start to go through these and let's just open them up, try them, taste them, and have some fun. Let's start with this one right here. This is actually from a company called Legendary, and this is their newest product, their Legendary Protein Donuts. You get 2 donuts inside this package for 160 calories. And so let's open it up here. Here we go, okay. Yeah, not bad, not bad. There's your donuts right there. Kind of some nice cinnamon dust crumbles on the top. Okay, let's give it a smell. Okay, yeah, interesting. Smells all right. I won't say it smells like an actual like traditional donut, but it's not bad. Let's give it a taste. Not bad. It's a little dry, but it's got good flavor. Definitely a little bit dry though. I should have brought a drink. It's really actually pretty good. I've got another one here that's a protein Pop-Tart from the same company, and we'll try that here in a minute, but these are actually really good. Like I said, a little bit dry. I wanna have a drink if I'm eating this, but the flavor is actually really good. So at 160 calories for 2 donuts and 20 grams of protein, this is actually a really great protein content. That's actually 50% protein. So with protein to calorie ratio, these are actually really, really good. Yeah, I gotta figure out where to put these. And I feel bad for my editor. She has to watch me eat all these. Sorry, Chris. All right, next up from the same company is going to be their Legendary Protein Pastry. This is essentially their version of a protein Pop-Tart. So let's open this sucker up here. I'll give you a gander at it. There you go. Protein Pop-Tart. This has 180 calories and 20 grams of protein, so really good protein content. It's got some icing, some chocolate chips on the top. This is their s'mores flavor. They've got a bunch of different flavors. Let's bite into it. That's actually really, really good. The icing on top is a really nice touch, and I don't know if you can see, but it's got a filling inside of it. And the flavor is really, really good. It's not as dry as the donuts were. I prefer this a little bit more. It's not quite as high in protein, but with 20 grams of protein and 180 calories, it hits our threshold. That's really, really good. That's a really good s'mores flavor. Yeah, highly recommend. All right, next, in keeping with the bars, we're gonna move on to this one right here, which is the Built Puff Bar. Built is a company that's been really on the rise lately. They have a few different types of bars. This is my favorite bar of theirs, the Puff Bar. They call it a Puff Bar because the inside of the bar is kind of a marshmallowy texture, okay? They have a regular Built protein bar, which is really, really chewy and gooey. It's a little bit too chewy and gooey for me, so that's why I like the Puff Bars. The Puff Bars are actually a very low calorie option at 140-ish calories per bar. And the same, looks like we got 17 grams of protein. So we're over that 40% protein threshold. Let's open it up, give you a peek at it and take a bite. A little bit of a smaller bar. This one smells really, really good. This is their brownie batter version. Let's give it a bite. See, it's very, very marshmallowy. There we go, nice and gooey. Yeah, the flavor is really, really good. It's not too chewy, nailed the flavor. A really nice chocolate flavor. I'm gonna be so full by the time I finish this basket. So 3 really good products so far. I would say the protein Pop-Tart, the protein pastry, and this one, the best so far. The brownies were, or the donuts were a little bit dry. Next, moving on, this one is by a company called Pure Protein. This is their chocolate peanut butter bar. They've got a bunch of different flavors as well. This one comes in at 200 calories and 20 grams of protein. So it's right at that 40% protein mark. The reason I like this bar in particular, it's not the best tasting bar out of the bunch, but it tastes pretty good. But it is one of the more affordable bars in the bunch. So a lot of these bars, when you go get them, they're in the $2.50, $3 per bar range, depending on if you're buying at the gas station, or you can get them a little bit better price if you buy them in bulk. This bar at Walmart, you can get them for like $1, $1.50 if you get them at Costco per bar, which is a really pretty good price. Let's open it up and let's give it a little bit of a taste here. There we go, that's what it looks like. Looks a little bit more like a typical candy bar. Bite into it. It's very dense. It has some little like crunchies in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of hard to see with the camera. Like little crunchy, crispy bits, like Rice Krispies bits in there. Gives it a nice texture. And like I said, the flavor's good, especially this chocolate peanut butter one. Not as good as the Built Bar or the legendary protein pastry, but for the cost, it's a really good option if you're on a budget. All right, next, we're gonna move on to a company called Barebells. All right, so I've actually got 2 bars here from Barebells. I've got their Barebells protein bar, their peanut butter flavor, and then the same thing, I've got one that is their creamy, crispy, or whatever you wanna call it. I've had Barebells bars before, but I haven't had these flavors, so I'm excited to try these. This peanut butter one comes in at 210 calories and 21 grams of protein, so it technically is just barely under that 40% protein mark, just barely, but it's close enough that I think it's still gonna be good. This creamy crisp version here is 200 calories and 20 grams of protein, so it's right at the 40% threshold. Let's open each one of these up and give you a look at what it looks like, and we'll see what it tastes like too. There you go. So this is their peanut butter bar. It's like a lot of like really crispy crunchies on the top, which is something I appreciate for texture. I'm making a mess. It's crumbling everywhere. Interesting. It's not bad. It just doesn't have nearly as much of a peanut butter taste as I would have expected. Not my favorite. Honestly, of all these, not my favorite. And I've had other Barebells bars. I'm just not digging that. Let's try this one. Let's try the creamy crisp. I'm making a huge mess with these bars. They're crumbling all over the place. Give it the sniff test. I'm not optimistic. Let's give it a try though. Very crispy because of the crunchies on top. Same thing, like kind of a gooey center. Neither of these have what I would call a great flavor. I would not buy those 2 again. They do fit the calories and the macros from a protein and calorie content standard, but they're just not great. All right, next, we have the OG. We have 2 bars from Quest. Their newer Quest Overload bar, which I've never had one of these before. It has 20 grams of protein and it's 210 calories, so it's right at that 40% threshold, just under it actually. And then this is the OG Quest protein bar. You guys see these everywhere. They've been around forever. The Quest was like the company that blew up the protein bar industry for real. So I'm gonna start with their OG bar. It's 180 calories, 21 grams of protein. So really awesome protein content. This is their s'mores flavor. Let's open this puppy up. The thing about Quest bars is they are very dense. At least their regular protein bars are very, very dense. You can see here as I open it up. Very, very dense bar, but it has a lot of like mix-ins in the bar. There's like a really big piece of chocolate there, and there's some graham cracker in there, since this is their s'mores flavor. So let's give it a taste. Very dense. The graham cracker and the chocolate chunks in here, bravo. Good flavor, very sweet, dense, a little bit chewy, but really good. And for the protein content and the cost, these are not super expensive, not super cheap, just right in the middle. Really pretty good, great option. Now let's try their overload bar, which is a new bar. You guys should see, I just have a massive pile of barely eaten bars over here. My wife's gonna love that. Let's open up this one. There we go. Okay, cool. That's what it looks like. They're really going for like nailing the candy bar look now. It doesn't look as much like a protein bar. It smells pretty dang good. Let's give it a go. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. It's sweet. It's a very like double chocolate flavor. It's dense, it's a little bit dry, but the flavor is really pretty good. I would buy that again. A little bit of crunchies in there. I don't know if you can see, there's like a crispy, crunchy cookie thing in there. That's pretty good. So far, I've got 2 more bars to go over here. So far, if I had to rate, I would say my favorite is the Legendary Protein Pastry and the Built Bar, and maybe the Pure Protein since they're so affordable. So far, those are my favorites. The rest of these are still pretty good except for the Barebells. This one, my wife already opened. So you get to see a half-opened bar here. This is a brand called David, the David Bar. And again, my wife already opened it, so sorry. This one was actually given to me by a friend. I've had David Bars before. I've never actually tried this flavor before. This is their blueberry pie. I'm not honestly a blueberry flavored kind of guy. And apparently neither is my wife because she opened this up, probably like smelled it and was like, nope, I'm good. But she's pregnant, so that probably happens a lot. Let's take a look here. That's what it looks like. It looks actually a lot like a Quest bar. If you were to put this up right next to the Quest bar, they look very, very similar. Almost like they're made by the exact same company in the exact same factory. Maybe they're in cahoots. The other David bars I've had have been really good, flavor and texture wise, so we'll see if I like the blueberry thing, I don't know. I will say this, David bars take the cake for calorie to protein ratio. They're by far the best bar on the market for the amount of protein you get to the amount of calories you get. This bar is 150 calories, so very low calorie like the Built Bar, but it has 28 grams of protein in here. That's massive, that's like 70% protein. Forget 40% or 50%, 70% range. Really good. So it's got some crispy crunchies in there, and it looks like some like pie crusties type stuff, just like the Quest bar did. I'm just not sure about this blueberry. Let's give it a try. I'm really not a blueberry guy. And I think that's not playing in this bar's favor. If I was a blueberry guy, I would probably really like this bar. The texture is very similar to the Quest bar. It's good. It has a lot of different textures in it. It's got Rice Krispies in there, a little bit of like pie crust. David bars are really, really good. I just don't like this flavor. All of the other David bars that I've ever had were really, really good. So I recommend try David bars. Now here's the thing about David bars though. They're very expensive. David bars are the highest protein to calorie ratio on the market. They're also the highest cost per bar that I have found on the market. So you're gonna pay for David bars for sure, but they are really good. You can't beat the protein content and the taste is really good. I have one more bar before we get into the salty crunchies here, okay? Now this bar, I put in here as an exception to the rule. It actually does not meet my calorie and protein requirements. It is the One Reeses partnership bar. It actually has 240 calories per bar, so it's 40 calories over my ideal threshold, and it only has 18 grams of protein. So this bar does not meet the ideal calorie to protein ratio that I like to see in a good high protein snack for weight loss, but it is my favorite bar on the market because I love Reese's. And specifically this bar tastes to me like you're eating Reese's Pieces. It's just so good. So let's open it up. Now, a lot of people would ask, okay, Matt, why are you including this bar? Because it's not actually technically as low calorie as you like it to be. It's not as high protein as you like it to be. Well, it still is a much higher protein bar than say eating an actual Reese's Cups or a bag of Reese's Pieces. So it's a good option, especially if it prevents you from eating the real thing. What I would typically recommend for a client who's gonna eat this is I would just say, hey, skip a carb in a meal and just have like maybe protein and veggies in that meal, save your carb for this bar for a snack, and it'll probably be just fine and even out in the end. But that is what it looks like. It's literally got some protein chips plastered to it. I already know I love this bar. Although it tastes a little bit weird because I just had blueberry, but so good. The inside of this bar is very much like, it's almost like the inside of a Butterfinger. It has some crunch to it, some Crispies in there, but the peanut butter taste is literally Reese's Pieces. This is the one I'm gonna finish after I finish this video. So those are all of the bars that I think are some of the best on the market as far as calorie and protein content. Let's move on to salty crunchies, starting back with Legendary from the top. So again, going back to the company Legendary, this is their popped chips. Now, what I really like about the Legendary popped chips, as well as all of these, is that they're nicely portion controlled. One serving, one bag. There's not multiple servings in this bag, and it's a pretty big bag. Compare this to the Quest chips, which we're gonna get to here in a minute, much smaller bag. These feel like a much bigger portion. There's 150 calories per bag and 20 grams of protein. So excellent protein to calorie ratio. We're over 50% protein. They have different flavors. They have barbecue, they have nacho cheese, they have pizza. They also have a ranch, like a Cool Ranch Dorito. This is their pizza flavored, and it's actually my favorite flavor of all of theirs. Let's open it up, and you'll see what I mean when I say it is a popped chip. There you go, popped chip. So it's not like a tortilla chip per se. It is very much like a popcorner or a popcorn chip, almost kind of reminiscent of a pork rind consistency in a chip shape. Yeah, really, really good flavor. Legendary does a really great job with flavors across the board. Their donuts are a little dry. Protein pastries knock it out of the park. The chips, I think they knock it out of the park too. They're not overly dry. They have really, really good crunch and really, really good flavor and really, really good protein content. You really can't go bad with these. Let's move on to Quest. I bought 2 bags of Quest for this review. We have their newest flavor, Salsa Verde, which I have not had yet, and another brand new flavor that I have not had yet, which is their Buffalo Ranch. So I'm really excited to try these. These are 140 calories per bag, and they have 19 grams of protein in each bag, so excellent protein to calorie ratio. Once again, we are over 50% protein with these. Let's open them up here. They smell really good. This is their Buffalo Ranch. There you go. So here's what I like about these is these actually are like a tortilla style chip, like a Dorito. Let's give it a try. Yeah, that's a very bold flavor. Really, really good. A little bit of spice in there too. With the buffalo flavor, I can definitely taste the ranch. Good texture for an actual chip that's trying to mimic a tortilla chip. Sometimes, in fact, Quest chips used to back in the day, before I think they really refined their formula, were a little bit gritty. I don't sense that anymore. They've really come a long way. And they've really ironed that out. These are really, really good. Can't go wrong with these. Let's try the Salsa Verde flavor. Let's see how these are. Those just smell like a straight up tortilla chip. Yeah, there you go. Salsa Verde. Man, that is really good. Yeah, that is Salsa Verde flavor right there. Pretty dang good. I would eat these with a high protein chip dip any day of the week. And what I would definitely use these for is if I was making a taco bowl, I would crush some of these up and throw it inside my taco bowl, give it a little bit of crunch. That would be absolute fire. This is actually a little bit spicy too. A++. The salty crunchies are killing it today. Next, These I get from Amazon. The legendary popped chips and the Quest chips you can get from a lot of gas stations, Walmart. Very easy to find. Both of these that I'm going to show you next are Amazon finds. This one here is called the One Bean, and it is actually a crunchy roasted edamame bean. This would be for those of you who like to snack on things like mixed nuts, because that's what the experience is very much like. If I pour some of these out into my hand here, I don't know, I'm pouring them everywhere, but you can kind of see they're literally little individual roasted edamame beans. This is just their standard sea salt. Really, really good crunch. It's like eating a nut. It's like a healthy, higher protein, much lower fat version of eating a peanut. The flavor is even kind of nutty. It's not just the crunch and the salt. They have a nutty flavor to them. One serving of these, 1/3 cup, a pretty nice serving, is 114 calories and 14 grams of protein. Definitely over 40% protein. The thing I like about these, this is actually their bulk bag. This bag has 4 servings in this bag, but you can actually buy individual packing, single serving packs from Amazon. They're little 100-calorie packs, and they're perfect. And I'm a huge fan, anytime you're talking about a salty crunchy, of having individual serving bags like these, so you can't just sit here and just eat, and next thing you know, you've eaten the entire bag. These are really, really good. These actually really shocked me. A friend of mine brought these to me one day at the gym and gave me an individual serving size pack to try of 3 different flavors. They have buffalo, they have a sriracha, they have a wasabi flavor. I tried them out and I really, really liked them, and I bought a bunch more of them and I keep them here at the house. They're just pretty dang good. There'll be links down in the description for some of these things that you can get on Amazon, but a lot of them you can find at just your local grocery store or gas station as well. The last one for today is actually one of my favorite salty crunchies, and that is this brand called Beyond Twistz low carb pretzels. Now what's interesting about these is they call them a low carb pretzel, but actually, honestly, they should be called a high protein pretzel, because one serving of these is 17 pretzels, and a serving is only 120 calories, but that has 18 grams of protein. So I literally can't open it. There we go. So the protein to calorie ratio on these is really, really good. It's well over 50%. And they actually taste really good too. So there you go. It's literally a pretzel. And awesome crunch. Very good seasoned flavor. This is their cheesy street. They have a bunch of different flavors. They have a garlic and onion. They have a sour cream and onion, Mexicali, all sorts of different flavors, and they're really, really good. The one downside to these, maybe 2, one is they are a little bit dry. They're more dry than a typical pretzel. Now that bothers some people. It actually doesn't bother me, because if I sit down to eat these, I'm gonna sit down to eat them with a 0-calorie beverage or something like that. So the dryness doesn't bother me. The flavor is good enough, and the crunch is really good, and the protein to calorie ratio is good enough that I really, really like these. I have a lot of clients in our program who also will eat these with some of our high protein dips from our cookbook, and they really, really enjoy that. So the downside, a little bit dry, but not a deal breaker by any stretch of the means. The other thing that I actually do really like about these, in comparison to something like a Quest chip or the legendary popped chips, is the cost per serving. So if you go to a gas station, you're gonna pay somewhere between $2.50 to $3.50 for a bag of Quest chips. This bag, bought on Amazon, is going to have 8 servings in this big bag, and the cost per serving on this is around $1 per serving. So from a cost savings or cost per serving standpoint, this one is really, really good. I think this is the king in all of the salty, crunchy, high protein stuff that I've found on the market when it comes to cost per serving, and it's one of the highest protein per serving options that I have found for a salty, crunchy, and it tastes good and it's got great crunch. But that's it, guys. Hopefully this is gonna enable you to do two things. Number one, you know there's a lot of great options out there. If you're someone who is on the go all the time, you're running kids all over the place, you just work in a busy work life, whatever that is, and you need to know what's good for me to grab on the go that's gonna be low calorie, high protein, and it's not gonna taste like absolute crap. You really can't go wrong with any of these options, with the exception of maybe the Barebell Bars that I tried. They do have a caramel cashew flavor of the Barebell bar that I actually really like. I just didn't like these two. Everything else that I tried here today, I would actually highly recommend, and I think a lot of people would like them. If I had to pick my top 4 or 5 out of all of these, the legendary protein Pop-Tart or protein pastry, the Built Puff Bar, the Reese's One Bar, absolutely, even though it doesn't meet my nutritional standards, the Cheesy Street or the Beyond Twist Pretzels, the Quest Chips and the Pop Chips, those are my favorite top picks out of all of these that we tried today. If this has been helpful for you, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification bell and hit the like button so that YouTube knows that you got some value out of this video. Really appreciate you guys being here. If you want more tips and more stuff like this outside of this channel, there is a link down below for my free newsletter. Every Tuesday and every Friday, I send out a free newsletter called the Practical Health Journal. Every Tuesday is a deep dive with a longer article around something sustainable, weight loss, and lifestyle focused. And every Friday is a quick hit. It's got recipes, it's got product shares like this, shorter, but really good, immediately actionable tips for sustainable health and weight loss. Sign up for free down in the comments, and there's also a link down below if you are interested in coaching with us at Healthy and Whole. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.